Why, hi everyone. It's Combo. Back at it again. It's lit. But before we quit, let's talk to him. Hello there. Hello there. Oh. Oh, awkward Dark Souls laughter. Oh.
Who are you? I thought you were that bastard for a moment. You've set me free. Now I can find him. The cheeky prick. He won't know what hit him. I am Creighton of Mirror. I travel from land to land to hone my blade. I've heard this land was full of danger. I thought it would suit me perfectly. I joined forces with a man on the way. But he was no more than a backstabbing knave. He took the first chance he had to try and off me. I decided to set a trap for him here. But then I got trapped myself. I can't believe that I was so dense. Thank the stars that you came along. You be careful of him. Pate, I think he said. He wears this rather unusual ring. You know it when you see it. I've seen his type before. He kills entirely for the pleasure of it. I'm sure I won't be his last victim. The man's better off dead. I tell ya. He's a slick talker, so don't let him fool ya. Pate, the man with a strange ring. Watch out for the slimy rat, and don't you believe a word he says. I'll find a common for a bed and put an end to his roguery.
So, yeah, that was Creighton the Wanderer. I kind of find his name to be a little too on the nose, to be completely honest. He's just a cretin, a wandering urchin, and he creates this interesting double meaning, considering he's dressed to look like a knight of Mira, but he's a cretin. He's scum. He's below any value that you would have. And when you've spoken to someone from Mira already, a certain Lucatiel, you realize that she's much more earnest and incoming, and a different character entirely.
The way under's all blocked up, you see, by this god-awful statue. Heavens above. Who thought it a good idea to put it there? Oof, I'm in quite the pickle now. See that statue? Gives me the willies. You stare at it for long enough, it starts to look alive. It just doesn't seem quite right. There are no craftsmen around these parts. Hey, you don't think a real live person is turned to stone, do you?
Real good hint, buddy.
Hey.
Yep. And thus we have our good old Ben Holt of Hugo. He's a pretty boy with a pretty sword. It's a shame that the quality of it isn't quite what he thought it is. But, yes, as you might notice by just the first 3 minutes of this video, this is going to be a talking one. We're going to speak with quite a few people, so I'm going to probably be popping in and out a little bit. Shouldn't be too bad. Some of it I might leave on, depending on how important I think it is. Some of it I might not. Who's to say? But we'll talk about them as we meet them along. When they say something worth, well, talking about. Anyway, onward past me.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been petrified. Hard to... Give me a moment, please. I'm fine. I think... No. I'm fine. Really, I am. My name is Rosabeth. Thank you so much for rescuing me. Oh. You're that traveler. I still haven't thanked you. Well, I'm quite a hand at pyromancy. So perhaps you could consider this my thanks. I was attacked and turned to stone, I think. I owe you my life. If you had not come... Oh, I feel shameful wearing these rags. I hate to burden you further, as you've already saved my life, but just look at me. My clothes are in tatters. Do you have any clothing that you could spare? I'll take anything, whatever you don't need. I'm not particular when it comes to apparel. Anything at all will do. Just put it on the ground, and I'll change into it later.
Well, we'll let that go for now, but let's go back to Ben Holt.
What? Clearing the way was your doing, was it? Didn't think you had it in you, pal. No. It's not like it sounds, no. It was places. Aye, that's so. Name's Ben Hart. Thanks to you, I can resume my journey. If we share the same path, I'm sure that we are good. I'll repay my debt to you in battle. I swear it. By my sword. The road ahead's going to be long, but I'm here to help. I am in your debt. It's a true man who honours his debts, and I'll see mine paid. I swear it by my ancient sword. It's a true.
Now, he's going to just keep repeating that. Thing that's interesting about summons I've found out while playing Dark Souls 2 is you actually are encouraged to some extent to actually use them. Normally, it makes boss fights a bit more difficult because they double their health and damage because now there's twice the offensive for this boss. Since you're getting a little bit of help to fight them, they have to balance it out, right? Well, this way of things, you actually complete quest lines by summoning them in, and I kind of enjoyed the way it's set up in this, because for a lot of them, you get their weapons, or you get their gear. With Ben Holt's case, you get his gear if you kill him outright, but you don't get him as a summon. If you continue and use him, I think it's 3 times, you get his sword, which is a fake Moonlight Greatsword. And I say fake because if you go into New Game Plus, and you kill a boss we'll be fighting later, you get the Moonlight Greatsword as a boss weapon, assuming you have it set up. Now, I've noticed while going through and opening up a gifted Dark Souls 2 manual, which I have in my lap right here next to my morning coffee. And by morning, I mean it's like 1 p.m. because we all have certain life choices we don't have to agree about, but, well, here we are. I'm at the... for the vanilla Dark Souls, not Scholar, just vanilla, original content, pre-DLC Dark Souls 2. I'm at where the guide expects me to be. I'm a little bit over-leveled by maybe 9 levels or so. But they're expecting you to go into the Shaded Woods at level 80 to 90, and I have to say, I am not following this road plan at all. This game, apparently, if I'm going through it in the order of the way it laid everything out, the layout suggests, okay, Forest of Fallen Giants, did that. Well, actually, let me just go to the table of contents to really talk about this. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. So, the order they expect you to go in is Majula, After Things Betwixt, of course, Forest of Fallen Giants, Hyde's Tower of Flame and the Cathedral Blue, No Man's Wharf, The Lost Bastille and Belfry Luna, Huntsman's Copse and Undead Purgatory, Harvest Valley, Earthen Peak, The Pit and the Grave of Saints, The Gulch and the Black Gulch, The Iron Keep and Belfry Soul, and then the Shaded Woods. Now, for the most part, I did do the beginning, but Earthen Peak is an area I haven't even touched yet. I went there, I reached the first bonfire of it, but I didn't continue onward. So, from Earthen Peak, that's when we'll get to our next big soul, but I already took out the Lost Sinner, which is something I shouldn't be doing until, I want to say, 3/4 of the plow through so far, because apparently that was the third ancient one I was supposed to slay and not the first one. But as you can see from the playthroughs, if you watch the rest of them, I did it not quite in order, which I appreciate is an option in this game. It's not 100% a linear process. You can go through areas, yes, there's only one way in, one way out, and you have some vague exploration and ideas of where you're going, but you don't have to do the areas in order, and I really do appreciate that about this game. There's some areas that sort of do that in DS3 and Bloodborne, but there's even more that don't. The secret areas in Bloodborne I find to be also a bit more rewarding and interesting to follow through, just because they're a bit more, I don't know, not quite archaic, but it's a very strange roundabout way of unlocking a bonus level. Sort of like the Canehurst Castle, and how you have to circumvent, go exactly back to where you were at the beginning of the game, pick up a letter, go back to a very specific area of an optional area, and then get picked up by a carriage. It's all very roundabout, and not obvious, unless you know what you're looking for, and I appreciate that. I also kind of appreciate the weirdness of the monsters we're getting into here, both completely and incompletely. There's a lot of mixed feelings about this section. I actually really don't like it. It's got the same green textures of the Undead Burg, and after playing DS1, it kind of seems like an entire level built out of the downtown of the Undead Burg, just bigger and wider. And then there's this section. This is completely awful until you get to the DLC. Once you get to the Ivory Kingdom of Lulsim Lois, I believe, things get easier. But first, NPC time. Talk! Yes, it's a severed head. Do it past me.
Leave me be. I like it quiet. Leave me be. What business have you here, traveller? You may call me Vengal.
Vengal.
I deserve a name in this sorry state. 'Tis rare to flap these guns. This is pleasant. Long ago, I was hired to defend the kingdom. I remember a long, brutal fight, and then somebody killed me. So I thought. I came to and found myself like this. I don't know what explains it, but it's not so bad, really. Now I watch the days go by and gaze at the night sky, thinking of the finer things, far removed from war. I'd grown weary of battle, but did not realize it until now. I know not what brings you on this journey, nor will I deign to ask. You may bear a great burden, don't we all? I prefer to stay my distance. But I want to warn you of something. My body, I see visions. My body, headless, raging without me. My body, wielding my sword, a sword forged only to kill. My body will show no mercy. If you see the wretched thing, stay far away. I learn new things every day. Things never learned in battle. And, thanks to you, I've recalled the joy of conversation. If I can help you, if you require something, do speak up.
I really stared at that one for a minute. I was like, oh.
Sometimes I wonder what's become of the kingdom. I was a hired hand, yes. We soldiers stared death in the eye together. And for His Highness, I am afraid. But perhaps it's for the best.
We knew not what we fought for. I was born in Feroza, a land in the distant east. When I was born, we were already mired in prolonged conflict with our neighbours. Eventually, our kingdom fell, our people scattered. I've been a sellsword ever since. All I ever knew was war, and I can imagine no other way to live. What a fool I was. I'm grateful for these peaceful days, but such contentment lies only in the here and now. Why must life be so confounding? Thank you for lending an ear to my ramblings. Here, take these. I've no use for them. Go along and resume your journey.
Now, I enjoy Vengarl because he's a very... I like him from an image perspective. He's a mercenary who was decapitated, and he went hollow the moment he was decapitated. But for some reason, unlike us, despite whatever wounds we were inflicted, his head remained on those stones. And his body, as we're going to find later, is very much still round and fairly aggressive. It kind of shows off how big the man was, although when you summon him as a summon, he has a normal person's proportions, which is a little bit disappointing, but I can understand given the limitations of this game. The only abnormal summon that's ever popped up in a Souls game happens both in Dark Souls 2 and in Bloodborne. And we'll be using one of them right here too. Oh. I seem to have this little blank spot of footage right here. Huh. Probably should fix that. Yikes. Okay, there we go. I'll probably just leave that in there for funsies. I'm only human. Now, let's see. Yes, Shaded Woods has transparent humanoid types that are bandits. They're annoying ghosts, and you can't lock onto them at all. Until you go to the DLC where they'll give you an item that lets you see ghosts. And it's not a wearable, it's not unequipable, it's just something that once you have it in your inventory, any invisible enemy becomes pretty visible. And you need it for a boss, but if you apply it to the main game, it's also quite effective there as well. And I enjoy that sort of retroactive continuity with it. It's helpful. Also, fuck these things. Fuck these angry pots. Who needs it? It's such an annoying thing because it's one of those... It's not a swamp area. It's not the classic... Oh, you're in a From Software game? You're in a swampy, green, lush area? Oh, well, poison. You're going to be poisoned now. That doesn't happen in a lot of these sections. It happens more, apparently, through objects in the environment in this game. It isn't like Dark Souls 3 or Dark Souls 1, where if you go to Blight Town, or you end up in the Farron Swamps, and if you just touch the water, you're poisoned. That's not the case here. Although, in later levels, there are sections where if you walk on a fluid or on a substance, your weapon durability just disappears. It just straight up breaks your equipment and makes things terrible. Which is why it is best to avoid such things. Or walk around naked. Naked walking about is pretty optional, especially in Aldea's Keep when we get there later. Yep, there's me getting shanked by some ghosty. And then I just two-handed that sword to get him out of the way. Wombo combo. Gosh, I think I have like 3 Pharos Lockstones, if not 5. And I'm just not using any of them. And see this loser? Look at this loser right here. Hold on, I'm not talking about me. Right now, anyway. But I'll go ahead and equip that. That ring, which you buy from the cat merchant in Majula, lets you talk to this guy. He's, as far as I know, the only reason to wear this ring. Also, very annoyed by this. Just could not hit that thing to save my life. Consider it taken care of off screen whenever you see me chase a crystal lizard and it goes away. Because I got that. I promise. I'm telling the truth. Yeah, he's gone. He went away. Yeah, and going to sell that to Gavlon as soon as I can. Because who's going to use a scythe in this game? That's poppycock.
Human, are we?
Correct?
This is no place for you. Be gone.
Be gone.
Are you not afraid of me?
Well, no, you're a loser.
No one's really come here. Those who do turn back when they see me.
Wow.
Make an attempt on my life. But you are different.
Yeah,
You
I'd say.
once had a master. He created us long, long ago. But he was born with a fatal flaw. He resented those who had what he lacked and became fully mired in hatred. Eventually, he drove himself mad. It was at the peak of this madness that he conjured up these strange creatures. Our master was a tragically lonely soul. Eventually, his solitude eroded his very reason. What it was that he truly lacked. Nobody knows when we were born, or where our master has gone. The only ones who even speak a human tongue are myself and my better half. I wish to ask a favor of you. I want you to kill my betrothed. Once, I always felt her at my side. But as time went on, things went awry. She became violent, raging uncontrollably. Eventually, she came after me. We have been locked in combat ever since. We seem to be at a standstill. The wounds we exchange are never lethal. I was born of my master's madness. Perhaps this is some curse. I will be sure to assist you in return. The past is a distant fog. My name was Tark. That is all that I remember.
Okay, I'm sitting here sifting through the book, and... I should probably actually talk about the footage here. Okay, first, fuck this guy. Man Scorpion Tark is a cuck and a loser. He's really lame to me, because it implies that Scorpioness Najika, his betrothed, was created in a very Adam and Eve sort of way by his creator, who we can only assume is Aldia. It's not outright said, but given everything we've seen and we'll see later, Aldia, the mad scientist, kind of sat around and just started fucking with things like he was Sif the Scaleless in the first game. Only instead of crystals, this scholar of the first sin, Aldia, kind of sat down and went, well, what if I just made shit? What if I just made absolute shit? And that's what he did. It's very much what he did, because he made weird scorpion folk, he made weird, like, meat monsters, and he's kind of a bastard when it comes to dumb layouts for his laboratory. But we'll get there later. He was obsessed with trying to recreate the process of either becoming hollow or discovering the nature of why hollowing occurs. And so he recreated various experiments and facets of... Oh god, I forgot how hard those guys hit. Facets of the time before man. And one of them, and it's a very weird creation that we'll end up having to come up to later, is that he eventually learns that he can produce dragons. Dragons that have long since been dead in this series. There is a lot of dungeons, but not a lot of dragons in Dark Souls. There's a few, but often the dragons that are fought in this series are not at their peak strength, nor are they 100% a pure type of dragon. There's no prime dragon here. They're all either undead, hollowing, or both. And these lion guys are annoying, and they don't really have a reason for being here. It's implied through their items that these lion men with their weird goat legs and big woolly Madden hairstyles are warriors from Ferosa. Except their dress does not have any relation to Ven Karl, the only person we've met from Ferosa. And then the iconic armor set that you often see associated with Dark Souls 2, which is an armor set from Ferosa, which adorns on their helmet a little image of their god of war. It has nothing to do with lions per se, or weird lion lycanthropes like these ones that we're fighting here. Not sure what's going on there. There's also a shit ton of them that were just really bad at fighting basilisks, even though they could kill me in 3 hits. Oh, here's me getting stuck. I was like, no, not this geometry. Then I got out of it. A-okay. Another Pharaoh's Lockstone. Bada bing, bada not gonna use it. Now, as I'm kind of just rolling through things, I get a little bit amused because I was like, oh, that seems like a trap. Good thing I have my handy dandy binoculars. I should probably take that Ring of Dissonant Whispers off at some point too, but I don't think I do that until later. Oh, yep, and that's when I realized I fucked up also. You always want to have it in not the hand you cast with. Otherwise it's redundant and doesn't help. Bump. I probably wasted a spell there. I probably could have just destroyed the floor and the pot would go away. But there's a trap. There's a few of those. And if you listen to that vaguely awkward, not quite sensual bird noises, but it's in the realm of that, that's another merchant who can make boss weapons. But we have to wait to get that one. Because that one's behind a locked door that I cannot break down. I do find it kind of fucked up though that the game doesn't outright tell you when you collect boss souls that there's 2 different merchants that you can give those boss souls to for items and abilities. So you could either go with the whole game just carrying around the same souls that you don't know if you actually want the items to, or you eat them and you miss an opportunity. In fact, that's the only reason I'm still walking around in this playthrough right now with the old Dragon Slayer soul, because I really like Ornstein's Spear. It's fucking great. It's really cool. I enjoy. I am a fan. Oh. There we go. Not the Invisible Man. Ooga booga. And now I'll just be a big coward here. But I wasn't aware of this. Now, going back to what I was looking at, because I got bored of talking about the Shaded Woods and how shit it is. I'll probably go back to it in a little bit when my attention span returns. But I'm looking through the various armor sets in the game, and I'm sure there's different ways of acquiring them. But there's a character that I came across after killing the chariot boss. His name is Techi Grin. He's a part of the PvP Covenant, and he's an asshole. Anyone who joins the PvP Covenants are generally not fun. I won't say that for everyone, because maybe there's some people who want to do honorable duels. And the only way they can find people to duel with is through invasions, so, well, more power to you there. But when you're just... Oh, I always remember being completely surprised by that basilisk doing those six stunts. Oh, I was just sitting there, just marveling at that big, booby-eyed weirdo, being like, "Oh, you're really cool. You're really good, guy. Way to go." Where was the trap? Oh, there's the trap. So yeah, there's just random hole. Blop. Hi. Different way to get in here. But the Near Alma set, which is just a hood and a torn short robe because the person wearing it is a dwarf, Apparently it just increases the number of souls acquired, so I'm probably going to start the next playthrough with that. Wow.
I'm just talking amongst myself.
Oh, it's because I'm silent?
If you find the need for a truer dark, then meet again. We shall. The dark is still nascent within you. The dark.
Now, that's all he's going to say now. To fuck this guy and his idea of, oh, you're playing Dark Souls? I don't think it's dark enough. We could enhance the darkness if you wish. I mean, look at him sitting his fat ass in that little Bergenwerf chair that the Bergenwerf scholars gave him. Just screw that guy and his very interesting upholstery. We don't need that. We just need to kill these big stone-breathing weirdos. Listen to sensual bird noises, and hope that one day we can save them. And as you can see, cannot break that door. It has plot armor. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, I might just go and kill a small fellow, collect some sins, and collect an armor set from it. I'm not sure what penalty there is for killing NPCs in this game, so I might just do that a quick Google too. Let's find out what happens if you kill an NPC in Dark Souls 2 that the game doesn't want you to kill. Let's find out what that penalty is. What happens if you kill an NPC in Dark Souls 2? Alright, let's check the For Extra Life wiki and see what kind of collective intelligence we have today. Hopefully it's a good one. For Extra Life can occasionally be bad. I remember when I would proof edit some things for Dark Souls 3, that was fine. Dark Souls 3 and 2 were pretty well fleshed out For Extra Life pages. Oh.
Just right.
He's just so mad sitting in whatever corner he can find.
I remember you. Don't you scare me like that. I thought you were him.
No.
That bastard with the ring lives in Brightstone Cove down the way. I'm gonna find him and settle the score. Nobody insults me like that. For the good of the world and for my own honour, I won't let that bastard live another day. For the good, I won't let...
This. What a mistake that was. Now, this is on the second attempt. The first playthrough, I got behind her thinking I would get in, and she completely wombo comboed me with those tails. And it was fucking rough. Also, screw her version of Crystal Homing Soul Mass, because that is trash. Look at that. They turn into soul spears. That's fucking rubbish. Really strong powers there. Can't wait to learn it. See that? That wombo combo right there killed me instantaneously. Bad time. So, luckily, good old Bradley and Man Scorpion Targ, we all just got together. And I really wondered how Man Scorpion Targ managed to fight even-ended with Scorpioness Najika the first time. Because she is way bigger than him. She is so much more ferocious. This makes Targ look like a wimp. Big loser energy. Which is why I spend most of my time just going, no, you're first like this. Using Ricard's rapier to be a big old artsy dumb. Oh, I remember getting real scared about this. Yeah, but I was killing a lot of butterflies earlier today. I'm fine. Only scared. And you always want to be on a stone piece like this. Because she goes into this mode where she goes below the ground. And if you're not, yep, and then she just pops right out. Sorcery's not good here. Lightning weapons so far? Acceptable amount of damage. Pretty good for what they do. And that's that boss out of the way. Okay, I'm looking it over, and there's various applications to killing an NPC. They all have various selectable prices for resurrecting them. But from what I can tell, if you kill them, the merchant, the scary one that I like getting my drugs from, Merchant Hag Malentia, she will produce their clothing regardless, but they need to die in order for that to happen. And thus we have the other bullshit puzzle area, but at least is visually interesting. Also, Mastodon Man. Look at this big old Master Man. 1, 2. 1, 2. 3, 4. 5. 5 hits. Kills a Mastodon. And then we have another weird PS2... I'm sorry. Dark Souls 2 oddity, which is these guys. Those are dwarves. Dwarves. Getting real classic fantasy in here. And they never appear in another game again. The dwarves only exist... Oh, hey, I'm going back in time. Right. But dwarves only exist in Dark Souls 2. They're not pygmies, they're dwarves with very dwarven qualities like beards and drinking. And it follows this weird pseudo Byzantine / Nordic vibe, because they have Nordic helmets with the horned helms and the interesting little nose guards, but a lot of them also feature Byzantium types of armament colors. We're gonna continue conversations after killing this ghost that keeps shanking me in the heart. Except, as you can see, I switched over to using the Dranlaic Greatsword just for fashion giggles and big slow stagger time. Oh yeah, I did re-equip. Oh, and then I had to take it off again. Right.
You've defeated my better half. This is my thanks. I have no gods, but still I pray that your journey will be safe. I have no gods to pray to, but still I pray that your journey will be safe.
Thanks, loser. Just hate him. So stupid. So I wasted this fragmented branch of yore that I probably should have saved and used later on that guy, just so I could take care of another NPC subquest and just have a light conversation. I more or less did it to get a summon, and I probably didn't need the summon, but I might, and that's why I did it. So after killing Lion Man down here, you might notice that you still hear a low roar sound, and it's not the kind that does themes for Death Stranding. And then there's Headless Man, who's really, really good at spinning to winning. Look at those giant curvy boys. And that's the way we're gonna kill him. The sheaths for his sword don't make sense And they're really big. Oh god. And he only has one. I don't get that. You're dual wielding two really big ass swords. You need more than one sheath, boy. Unless it's like a double sheath. But that doesn't make sense to me, to be honest. Come on, big fella. Oh god. No, don't come on. Oh. I like that with 26 adaptability. He still managed to catch me, but it was just due to timing, I'd like to think. So, like that, we're all done with this section. I hug against a few walls just in case there was a hidden area, and I didn't find anything. But that's essentially all she wrote for this video, because I went through and I took care of that, and I think we'll see me supercut again to going and visiting Van Carl to let him know, hey, buddy, remember how you mentioned that you had nightmares about your body being a night terror demon, just ripping and tearing, doom-guying it up in the distance? Well, don't worry about it. I took care of it. So we're gonna go tell him. We're gonna go tell that severed head everything's a-okay. Boop. Hey, bud. Hello.
Back again? Well, this is a pleasant surprise. Ah, it was you who vanquished my body. It is my body, you see, and I can sense what happens to it. I do not mourn for it. Good riddance.
I'd agree.
If you wish for help, listen to me. I'm rusty in battle. I will fight by your side.
I really wish he would just be...
When I was born,
Oh, yeah. I really wish he would just be a
never knew was
floating head and not like a complete person. That would have been great. But oh well. Thanks for your time anyway, guys.